Welcome back, everyone, to Warlord of SBAS plays Torment, Tides of Numenera, episode 11. Last time, we finished in our mindscape, talked to the spirit, then talked to these two people, and explored a little, then went over here and met this lovely family. How exciting. Now let's just, there are a whole bunch of stalls. Let's talk to each of these stalls and see what they have. Prada. In the shadows cast by the folds of the merchant's cowl, you glimpse hints of verdant chitina and amber mandibles erupting from the pale human flesh. Her voluminous robes cannot hide the fact that her movements are off, as if too many joints inhabit too little space. And her voice is a warm, tumbling float spoken thoughts and impulses. A fair afternoon to you. Warm, isn't it? Something begins humming in one of her many pockets, and her brilliant, multifaceted eyes flicker toward an invisible point in the distance. Well, not as warm as it could be, but this is the warmest minute of the week by a considerable margin. She trails off, but the hum continues. Oh, you have one of those tattoos too, anyway. Can I interest you in some prime artifacts, dusty relics, Numenera, of uncertain origin? He looks like that pale woman. No, you're right, Birdie. Not looks, smells. I've never visited the city before. Can you tell me about it? No, she laughs, and it sounds like a cloud of insects taking flight. I'll do better than that. Tell me anything about this place that worries you, and I'll make it better. That's a guarantee. We do love to help, don't we, Rhonda? Rhonda. What part of the city should I see first? All of it. Take it from me. Everything is worth seeing, even the boring bits. Taking your time talking to everyone you meet, and keep your eyes open. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. Talking to everyone. Are there any dangerous areas I should avoid? Not at all, Prada says, waving her claws at you. I heard so many rumors about how the underbelly was ruled by vicious thugs, but when I went down there to make a trade, no one so much as glared at me. She hesitates. Of course, they were probably worried I was going to snap their heads off, but the underbelly is fascinating and worth the risk. Most everywhere is. Do you, Trevor says, leaning over to look at her shredded hands. Snip heads off, I mean? You don't seem the type. I might be, Prada says brightly. I've never had to find out. He leans back out of snipping range with a fixed, polite smile. Snip, snip. Still finding my way. Think I could get a discount on your goods? Well, she says, looking momentarily uncertain. It's like watching a lone cloud passing across the summer sky. You know what? I'll give you a discount on everything I carry from now until the last star in the sky collapses, or you know, one of us dies. Can't do a thing about that, she said. Then she laughs again. Clearly, I'm worried about their prospect. Let's talk about something else. Absolutely, she says, something worse beneath her cloak, and she swats playfully at it. You appear to be transforming into an insect. Just FYI. I know, isn't it fantastic? I think it might be caused by the by the intermingling fields of the Numenera I use to organize my thoughts. Or the ones I'm selling. Maybe all of them. You never know how a variety of sexual will interact with each other. They are such fun. So what, can I transform my guy into a bug? That'd be pretty funny. Tell me about the Numenera you're using to organize your thoughts. Oh, it's a simple sort of. Brothers pulls 3 tiny Numenera from her rows. A buzzing bird figurine, a green music box, and a circular spring. I have too many thoughts. If I try to hold them all in one brain, I just stand and drill, you know? So each of these have a slightly different purpose. Which one do you want to hear about? Let's go down the list. The bird figurine. Birdie's pretty simple. If I'm running with a great thought, I don't have time to complete it. I shunt it into her so I can pick it back up later. She does make everything small like berries, though. Yeah, smell like berries can't be. It can be worse. The music box. Jade box is a rough old lady. If I'm rolling with more complex line of thinking, I bring her up and she jumps the individual ideas and feeds them back to me. I try to use her as little as possible because she gives me headaches. No, what's the opposite of it? Head ease. Further frowns. Anyway, they're worse than headaches because you can't go around thinking everything else. Alright? It's bad for your health. Circular spring. That's Rhonda. She's a bit scary. I can shunt a bunch of thoughts into her, but she doesn't process them. She just gives them back to me, slightly changed, and infinitely better than when they went in. Planet Prada leans in conspiratorially. I try not to use her much. She whispers, "It feels like cheating." Can I buy one? Bird flashes. I hate to say no, but I've never had them but I've had them since I was little. They're practically family. So you can't buy them. Oh well. Let's talk about something else. I'm looking for someone who can repair a complex machine. Can you help? Oh, I'd love to. Complex machines are my favorite. But no, I shouldn't. I'm really behind my work orders this month. This may surprise you, but I'm very, very, very easily distracted. She shrugs beneath her robes. You're better off with someone else, sorry. You said someone else had my tattoo? Who? Alright, a pale lady. She wanted me to fix that artifact of hers, but couldn't make any sense of it, and that is rare, believe me, Parna says. I felt sorry for her, to tell the truth. She seemed sad, like she lost something and she never going to get it back. And she wouldn't say what she lost when I asked her. I know I could have helped. I'm looking for that woman you mentioned. Was her name fantasy name? Do you remember where she went? I don't know anything else about her, she says, and though you can't see her face, you hear the frown. I wish I could help you more. I want to use the discount you talked about. So what do you have? Normal healing stuff. Subroutine. Huh? Alright, so what? If I lose 50% health, I refill. And all stats automatically refill health and stat pools. That's actually pretty cool. I believe it's only one use. Refill health, might, speed, and intellect for all party members. Ooh, that's good. Cipher. chemical damage. Heal 10 hit points for instrumental damage. So they're more likely to get hit. Well, interesting, but I don't have enough money to really buy these things yet. Underline yet.
I often wonder what you're up to inside that head of yours.
Ask away, Callistige. I'm an open book.
But it's what you won't tell me that I'm interested in.
Go.
Alright. How about you? Oh, you're just regular merchant. You're just regular merchant.
Go.
How about you? Oh, this is a sculptor that guy was talking about. Kid was talking about. Zoffy the sculptor. Zafi. I don't know. These names are always hard to figure out. Zafi the sculptor. This portly man, cracked and bleeding hands are always moving, picking fruitfully at his thick lips running through his thinning hair, or molding aimless shapes in the air. His clothes are marked with paint, dust, dried blood, and clay. His eyes brim with frustration, tears as he studies that strangely familiar sculpture arrayed about. Strangely familiar sculptures arrayed about him. A soul like silver slivers of ice, he mutters. Fingertips long, shriveled, sharp, screams, trapped in with flesh. She holds him in place. She's killing him. He's not looking at her. Why isn't he? Afraid? No. He claws absently at his sparse beard. What am I not seeing? What am I missing? Who was he? What was he feeling? Without that, I can't do anything. What's wrong? Everything, he said without a moment's pause, effortlessly drawing you into a self-directed tirade. Every detail is almost right, which means everything is wrong. I am Sophie, stone carver, sculptor, divine painter of living eyes, and in this challenge, my greatest work, my talent has finally abandoned me. He swaps his scornful hand at the sculpture. Behold my art, wanderer. Witness this dull stumps, that these crude replicas of a sublime being. What is it you think I'm made? Try to recall why the sculpture looks so familiar. Aha! Success. Success. You stare at the sculpture. Your mirrors flow into its sweeping curves, seizing you with what you've seen in your short life and beyond. Yes, this towering thing is the true form of the creature that pursues you. Zophie has sculpted the sorrow. You don't realize that you've spoken aloud until you hear Zophie's gasp and see tears in his eyes. Yes, sorrow, or even grief, is present in the work. I feel it, but where? I can't pull it from the stone. I saw this creature in a cold night long ago. Smoking corneas of blackened light drew me to my window. Sophie says, shaping the scene with his palms. And there, on the street below, was she, gripping a man in her talons before my very eyes. She ripped his essence from him, leaving him in a steaming husk. He drops his hands. Well, but what do you care? Why don't you grasp the importance of capturing such a subject? I've seen aspects of her. Maybe I can help you capture the details. Saifai stares at you dumbfounded. You think I'm trying to sculpt the killer? He says with a... Then immediately corrects himself. Of course, I am. I've succeeded, in fact. She is beauty and vengeance incarnate. What else worth his metal cone to capture such being? Sufi Cha clucks his tongue. But she doesn't need to be remembered. How could anyone forget such a lethal creature? No, the source of my ruin is a damnable man. Saifai said, points a trembling finger at the face of this human cradled in the statue's talons. A charred, oddly familiar pattern etched on the stone's head. He stared eternity in the face and did not blink, but he will be forgotten unless I capture him here. And can't do that unless I know what drove him. Saifai swallows. The moment he fell, I ran for the street. But the Dandra her clan hit his body and took it away. Probably to a little foul chapel of underbelly in the underbelly. Now I'll never know who he was. Tell me about the whatever that name is. They are the cult and a curse, says. Saifai says. They would have you believe they exist to preserve the great works of humanity to celebrate life. You may even believe them until you smell their breath. The truth is they squat in the underbelly chapel eating corpses and claiming it gives them power. How many statues of the being have you made? If only my efforts could be limited so. It sculpted the blast as a moment in marble, granite, and clay. I painted it in oil and blood. It even follows me into sleep, where I weave the scene from the clouds and dream stuff. A flustered tear rolls down his cheeks. Even those were flawed. Artist, Tiber murmurs. You'd think they'd be happy bunch. They slap paint on canvas and someone pays them for it. But no, they thrash about in their sleep, moaning and stealing all the sheets. You turn your attention back to Saifai. Is there anything else you can remember about the creature that killed this your subject? What a surprise, Saifai says with a ragged, scornful sigh. Yes, let us ignore the incandescent flare of the stranger's brief life and focus on the murderer. She's so much more glamorous. He grips out his sparse hair as if it's going to fall out. He glares at you. What? That's what you want, isn't it? That's what everyone wants. Like so many, he wants flash and flourish, but humanity is what truly inspires. No, I want to see the moment fully to understand why it inspires you so much. Oh, of course, it says a flattered blush rising in his cheeks as he directs your attention to his work. I capture her as I saw her perfectly. See the dexterous overlong fingers and the flesh formed of shrieking prey. But there was more to the monument than even I could not capture there. In studying her from my window, I knew that she did not belong in our world. And yet, I could not help but see her there, though she was forcing me to accept her presence. Zephi licks his lips. To look upon her is to see death made flesh, and yet her victim saw her and did not flee. Why? What granted him such bravery? When we lesser creatures cowered at the corner of the night. Cower at the coming of the night. Yeah, if I learn anything, I'll tell you.
Making a note.
Alright.
Yes.
Side quest accepted. Who are you? Slaver.
Let's
Alright.
go.
Slaver. Person with name. Hello, person with name. As you approach this group, the wild-haired woman eyes you speculatively and whispers something to her companion, and they burst out laughing. A slight smirk plays about her lips. A breathing mask dangles from her cord around her neck, and you can see where it has cut permanent grooves in her face. She ruffles her hair, messing it still further inside, sings out, "Oh, look, my birds, it's the changing god, come to be a slave from by a slave from old Toll." Who are you? You come to me and you don't know who I am? I'm Toll Magur. Magur. One of the few licensed slaves around here. Criminals, outcasts, and unwanted. I take the dregs of society and turn them into something useful. How do you manage that? Slavery is illegal in Shit's Cliffs, so I don't have slaves here. What I have is stock outside these walls. The sifters need someone to sort through the dirt and the craft to find useful in Numenera. Landowners need backs to till the fields, and in the bloom, the guys use criminal. Oop. Actually, I hit space. Boom. The guys use criminals to open maws to new worlds and new opportunities. For all of these people, their terms not forever, and it's rarely fatal. It's a paying of debts. That's all. Anyway, my merry little bandit and I were glorified bounty hunters. We collect runaways and the broken, the useless, and we give them homes and a purpose. They've got to work for a living well, unless you get a sentence to the bloom. But it's better than preying on the weak eye. Better than cast-off life. She smirks. Yes, I know what you are. I have knowledge that might interest you. I'll part with it, even at a reasonable price, of course. What kind of information? You think you'll get it from me that easily? I don't think so. I know your type. You cast-offs, not a one of you can be trusted. I'll give you this information. You're gone before I can collect my price. So forgive me if I decline to say outright the secrets I hold.
I'll remember that.
One of my wards has run off. She's taken a head wound, not my doing, and I've been watching after her. I don't know where she's gone, but I suspect she's headed off to Scissors Cliff's Edge. Plenty of other urchins climbing about the place, and she'd find it easy to blend in. Sadly, my troop and I are detained here, so we can't go ourselves. These late nibblers are tired of hunting her. Damn girl hides too well. She's a scrawny child. Name is Ren. Head wound, but is covered by dark curly hair. Has a little necklace around her throat. Babbles about her gods. Go get her for me, and I'll tell you what you want to know. She pauses, but then you pretend to be a changing god. But then you pretend to be the changing god. We'll see what the cost you. We'll see what that cost you. It's a few questions for me first. She says fine. To my knowledge, she doesn't really tell me anything, but I'll check. You want order of truth? You want to deal with them? Be my guess. These pompous Aeon priests are up by the government square that think they can unlock the secret of the past, but they're not focusing on the most important, which is creating for the future. They say they're studying, learning, but the fact is they're not doing anything useful. But don't let them tell you otherwise. Call the changing god. Or this curls delusional meaning seekers. They spend their time chasing their imaginary deity, ignoring what it means to be alive. Ooh, what has to be done now? They say, can I tongue his divine arse? As if knowing his life makes theirs any better. By studying his action, they might be able to replicate his success. Please, if they were going to succeed at anything, they'd have done it by now. But look around. You hear any of them doing anything of note? Living in grand mansions, owning fleets of airships? You don't. It's because they're intent on living in someone's shadow. She curls her tongue and spits. Nothing grows in the shadow. That's factually inaccurate. Several species of arthropods make their homes on the earth. The creatures that lives in the forgotten tunnels of the ancients have not seen light for millions of years, yet they thrive. She breaks off, smiling slightly. I can't abide ignorance. She glares daggers at Callista. Nor metaphor, it seems. Get your little nose out of my conversation. Scissors cliffs. It's not so bad, not horrific. Almost no one sells them for parts anymore. Fact is, most of them are go down to the bloom where they can work off their debt. Just decide by opening maw or two. It's not a forever thing. It's a punishment. It's just cliffs. Yeah, someone who cares. I think that the city's a sewer. Alright. Well, you're useless. I'm not going to do her mission because I actually met the girl she's looking for.
On it.
And let's just say this is the better option, I feel. But until next time, remember to embrace the chaos or you'll go mad. Bye.